Ladies, gentlemen, welcome to the channel. My name is Hard. Today I'll be breaking down the Sunday night football matchup we have for week two. We have the Dolphins versus the Patriots. I'll be going over my favorite picks, how to get different for the Showdown slate. We have $500,000 up top to first place, and I'll be making a potential build for you guys here for tomorrow night's Sunday night football Showdown slate on DraftKings. So make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, follow me on Twitter, turn on that notification bell, and let's get into this breakdown. So before I jump into it, just want to take a look at the odds. So we have the Dolphins versus Patriots, obviously Sunday night football matchup here. 2.5 point spread favorite to the Dolphins, 46.5 game total. So pretty solid for a Patriots D or a Patriots offense that, not the best, but still pretty solid game total. Surprised it's that close in terms of the spread. But this game is being played in New England. So home game there for the Patriots, which obviously helps them out a lot, especially that defense. So hopefully, it's a good game to watch. It should be. I'm super pumped for this. I'm pretty sure this was the matchup last year. I think it was either like a Thursday night football game or a Sunday night football game. Maybe it was a Monday night. One of like the main um, premier games of the week. There was a showdown slate, and I think it was the Patriots versus the Dolphins, and I was one catch away from Waddle from getting the takedown in like I think it was like 250K to first. Like I would have split it, I think, with like a few other people, but one Waddle reception away. He did not get like a single catch in the second half. It was unreal. I was so mad. But enough of that. Let's get into this breakdown here. So first off, I want to check out the snap count summary here for both teams. I think we should get like a better understanding of kind of what happened week one. Obviously, with Tua quarterback, we know 100%. But Mostert, they did rule out. I don't know how you say it. Arc. Where is he? What's the running back's name? Where'd he go? A chain. Akin. Devon. What I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but he was ruled out, kind of with a shoulder injury, even though he had no injury tag or designation. But he should be good to go this week. So with him back, I don't think it changes much. Like I think we'll still see probably 60 plus, 65+% Mostert, and then he'll probably just eat it to Salvin Ahmed's just usage there. So I don't think there's really a need to get into any of those backup running backs for the Dolphins unless you want to be super contrarian and throw them in a few of your lineups. But mostly it's just stick with Mostert there. For the wide receiver situation, Tyreek Hill played 66, Waddle played 64. They mixed in Braxton Berrios into 52. River Craycraft played a lot there, 40%. Eric also got 28%. No idea who the heck that guy is. But then tight end situation, super interesting. Durham Smythe played every single snap. So keep that in mind there. And then moving on to the Patriot situation, Mac Jones, obviously a quarterback. Stevenson played 73%, so that was good to see, even with Zeke there. Zeke played 35. So obviously, if there's passing down situations, it's going to be Ramondre. So he's a very strong option there. Kendrick Bourne looks like a wide receiver one in the Patriots offense. Keyshawn Booty, he played 69% of snaps. Juju played 54. They mixed in Demario Douglas, 41, and they did throw in some Ty Montgomery for a few plays as well. Tight end situation, Gasecki played 79, excuse me, Hunter Henry played 79%. Gasecki played 41%, and they did put in some Pharaoh Brown for a little bit. But yeah, 79% for Hunter, 41 for Gasecki. Expect that to kind of be similar. Maybe, they do like to run double tight end sets. So, they're not really eating too much into can't even talk, each other's usage. But I think both are very solid options there for tomorrow's game. And then moving on to like the targets, we'll take a quick look. For team targets, Zeke actually got 7 targets, and then Ramondre got 6. But obviously, Stevenson is just a way better back in terms of just pass catching, explosive, fast, all of that compared to Zeke. Um, oh, sorry, I was looking at the wrong thing. For wide receivers, Kendrick Bourne got 11. Demario Douglas 7. Super interesting there. 7 for Juju. Booty only 4, and then Ty got 3. So the Patriots were pass heavy. Obviously, they were down for a lot of that game against the Philadelphia Eagles, so they pretty much had to pass from the get go. So I do think a lot of these numbers are kind of inflated a little bit. I think they were down like 20-0. I think it was for the first half there. Obviously they had to just throw the ball a ton. So I do think some of these numbers will come down for tomorrow's game. And then Hunter Henry 6, Gasecki 3. And then if we move to the back to the Dolphins. Sorry here. Team targets. We have the running backs. Mostert only got two. Ingold got two. He was involved. He's the fullback, and then Ahmed got three, and then Tyreek Hill got 15. Barrios five. Craycraft five. Waddle five, and Eric zero. Tight end situation: Durham Smythe seven. So a lot of good information there to kind of keep in mind for this slate. So starting off with this Miami side, at the top we have Tyreek Hill 12-6. I mean, we know what we're getting from him. When I say this, not because of the pain of losing out on tens of thousands, potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars last year for Tua not throwing Jalen Waddle the ball, but Tua is the biggest Tyreek Hill meat rider I've ever seen. It is insane. Every single game. I get it. Tyreek is just amazing. Like he deserves 15 targets a game, but get other dudes involved. Waddle could be a Tyreek Hill 2.0 if you just give him the damn ball more than 5 times a game. Like what is that? Like they'd have an unstoppable offense if they just ran both these guys the same way they ran Tyreek. Like figure it out, Tua. Figure it out. But Tyreek Hill, we know what we're getting with him. He's going to be a super, super popular captain option for good reason. I mean, 11 for 215 and two touchdowns. Insane. This dude's insane. But it really comes down to ownership for me. Like, if he's going to be an extreme chalk for captain, I'd rather go to other options. Like, we know the upside there with Tyreek is probably 10, 15 points higher than anyone else in this game besides maybe Waddle. So it really just comes down to ownership for me for the captain spot for Tyreek Hill. Tua, I think is a very solid, captain option. We know he has huge, huge upside there. He likes to throw the ball. Can go for 300 yards plus, 400 yards plus, three touchdowns. He can get a QB sneak here and there, but I think they'll be safe with him in terms of that. So it'll just be more passing upside. So he could be a captain play. I don't love him. Rather get to one of his wide receivers in the captain spot over him, but he is a very strong option there. Waddle, once again, love Waddle. I'm going to be banging the Waddle drums all year round. This could be Tyreek Hill 2.0 if Tua just got a little bit of Tyreek Hill's meat out of his mouth and went to Waddle a little bit more. That's all it takes. Like, come on, Tua. Absolute meat rider for Tyreek Hill. But Waddle, love him. I think he's a fantastic captain play. We know his insane huge upside there, especially with big plays. He's kind of the big play wide receiver. So I absolutely love Waddle as my captain play for tomorrow. Mostert looks solid there. 10 attempts, one touchdown. Did get two targets out of the backfield. I think it's just a solid play here. But going up against Patriots defense, at home for the Patriots, the running game is kind of going to be kind of like the X factor for the showdown slate. I feel like for both sides, just nailing the right running back. Obviously, there's two main ones, Mostert and Stevenson, but you will get those backups in there a little bit, and if they score a red zone touchdown, it really hurts the upside of these running backs. So Mostert's more of a stay away from me. I think he's an okay play in the flex. Sure, you can put him in the captain, but if you're making just a few lineups, I think you just stick him in the flex if you want to play him. Otherwise, he's right now he's more of an avoid for me. Um, Same thing with the back running backs like Devin, Ahmed. Like you could look to those guys. I just don't think there's a real need. Mostert really has a chokehold over this running back situation as of right now. Defense. It seems like every showdown slate so far through week one into the week two Thursday night football game. It's all been defense. So it's very frustrating. Hopefully this game is just high scoring and not a lot of defense. Because playing defense is just never fun. You're just a Debbie Downer who wants to go to watch a game that's 10-3. Like, come on, man. But defenses are always playable. You just really need them to be a low scoring game or for them to get a touchdown. So they're always in play, but I don't love it here, even though the New England offense is not the best. I don't like going to the defense. Kicker, do like Jason Sanders a good amount. Obviously, the Dolphins will score a decent amount. Patriots have a good defense, so it could line up for a decent amount of field goals for Sanders there. Smythe's going to be a super popular option. 3,800. He played 100% of the snaps, saw 7 targets. So he looks like a very, very strong option there. I don't know if we can expect 7 targets, but playing 100% of the snaps, it's just hard to get away from him. I'm assuming Braxton Berrios will be super chalk as well. 2,000 for a guy that played a decent amount of snaps, saw 5 targets, caught 3 for 42 yards. I don't mind him there. I do think his numbers were a little bit elevated and inflated because they will shift in, 5 wide receivers. Obviously, you have Tyreek and Waddle as main two, but then they'll shift in Braxton's we saw River Craycraft. We saw even Eric down here. So it's like they will mix in a ton of guys there. I think he's a solid, cheap option there. Um, Ahmed, as I said, you can land on one of them if you're making a ton of lineups, but there's really no need to land on him because there's just a lot of cheap wide receiver options for this Dolphin side. Like River Craycraft, 5 targets, he caught three, 40 and a touchdown. He'll be probably a pretty strong option down there. So there's a lot of cheap options there. So it's going to probably shift to a lot of people just jamming in the star players and then jamming in like one or two of these cheaper Miami Dolphins guys. That's probably going to be the chalky build route. So you're going to want to get away from that if you want to take down the 500K at first by yourself. But he makes for a strong option. I do like Alec Ingold. Saw 2 targets. They do get Miami does get a little weird. Like he could see a red zone target and fall into the red zone and get a touchdown. You never know there. And as I mentioned, where do you go? Eric played a bunch of snaps, didn't do anything, was not targeted at all. So no real need to get to him unless you want to get super, super risky. But yeah, a decent amount of options down here, cheap options for the Miami Dolphins side. For the Patriots side here, Stevenson, I really like him. It's just, he saw 12 plus attempts, 6 plus targets. We know the Miami defense absolutely got destroyed in terms of the run by the Chargers last week. So I really, really like Ramondre Stevenson here. Doesn't matter the game script, he'll be involved, whether it's running or passing. He's always involved. So I really, really like him. Mac Jones, he's going to be more of a contrarian captain play, and especially, I'd say even flex as well. It's just like, it just feels like he doesn't have enough upside. Obviously, the last game he did, but I mean, as I said, they were down 20-0 the whole first half. So it's like he threw 54 times. He's usually not going to throw 54 times. They don't want him to throw that much, more in like the 30 to 40 range. So with that in mind, I don't think he has enough upside in this matchup to get to the captain. Sure, he can, depending on what happens, obviously. But I think right now he's kind of like a monster. He's more of a stay away from me. But he definitely find his way into your captain or flex spot. Kendrick Bourne, obviously 11 targets, had a huge game there. Looks like the clear wide receiver one. I think he looks very, very solid once again. Juju is going to be more of a contrarian option there. He did see 7 targets, but only 4 for 33. Didn't look the best. So I do think a lot of people will go up to Kendrick Bourne. They'll go to the Miami guys. I think he'll just kind of fall into that no man's land. And I do think he'll be a solid contrarian low owned option. Moving down here, Zeke did play a decent amount, did see some rush attempts, did see a lot of targets, 7, 5 for 14. I just think he's more of a contrarian option, kind of like Juju. A lot of people are going to skip over those two. But if they're going to be super cheap or low owned, they make for solid plays there. So you can definitely go to those two. Don't mind them at all. Parker, he might come back. We'll have to wait and see for this. If he's back, it'll probably shift around this wide receiver situation. It'll probably be Kendrick Bourne, Parker, and Booty as the 3 main wide receivers. So that kind of does shift around some stuff like Demario Douglas. It'll be interesting to see if he gets booted out of the kind of main 3 guys. If it's Booty, maybe it's Devontae Parker. So that does throw kind of a wrench into things. But if he's back, he's more of like a big play wide receiver. A guy to get those huge catches and touchdowns. More of a boomer bust. So if he's back and good to go, I do like taking a shot on him if we get like confirmation that he's going to be playing like in the rotation and not like the 4th man. So I think he's a very solid option there. Hunter Henry saw 6 targets. He's always a red zone threat. I think I'd rather get to Smythe or I'd rather get down to Gasecki, but he's a strong option. Mac Jones always likes throwing it to him. The Patriot situation, don't mind getting to Chad. I'd obviously rather get to the kicker on the Dolphins side there. Defense, Patriots defense, an okay option there. Playing at home, they're a strong defense, but obviously you're going up against Tua and Tyreek and Jalen Waddle. So you don't feel great about it. As I mentioned, you really need a touchdown there or to be very low scoring for the defenses to be worth it. Gasecki, 3 targets, 36 yards. He's always going to be a strong red zone option, so I do like him down there. Demario Douglas, as I said, Devontae Parker kind of takes a wrench to all the plans of like the wide receiver situation here. So it's more kind of a wait and see approach with Devontae Parker if he's good to go. If he's out, obviously, Douglas looks very solid as like that 3rd wide receiver in the room there. Booty, I think it'd be a strong play. He got 4 targets, did not catch a single one. But I mean, if people are just going to jump onto Demario Douglas or even where do you go? Bourne, then it means Booty, Juju are going to be great, great contrarian options there. So that is kind of my take there for the wide receiver situation, and that's really it for the New England side. So obviously, I think the Dolphin side is going to be way more popular in terms of people kind of building their lineups around that for obvious reasons. They have a lot of cheap options down here when it comes to Ingold, Craycraft, Braxton, Smythe, you know, three really, really strong options there in terms of cheap players. So in terms of building out a potential lineup with Waddle at captain, probably going to get to Ty or you don't have to get to Tua. Um, but I do like the Dolphins on slots, kind of the stack there. Um, have a hard time trusting that Patriots offense. I just know it's hard to trust Mac. But I do like Gasecki. Stevenson and Gasecki. I think they pair very nicely here. We'll throw in Gasecki there. Then two more here. What else do we want to get to here? I think more. See, it'd be nice to fit in Tyreek, but you can't. Let's get another pass catcher in here for the Miami Dolphins side. Um, Smythe is sitting there. He's looking pretty solid there. Don't mind him. 7,900 left over. You could get to Kendrick Bourne. So you'd have Stevenson, Gasecki, and Bourne. I mean, if technically three-ish pass catchers, you probably want Mac Jones, but not necessarily. Um, who else do we have here? It's just huge price discrepancy. So it's like you could leave a ton of money on the table to get different. That could always help there if you wanted to. And you can go down to like a Booty, a Braxton, um, all those guys that are cheaper, as I mentioned, are down there. So it's like that's an option. But right now, to kind of finish out this lineup, let's just go with Kendrick Bourne, kind of the wide receiver one as of right now. Obviously, as I said, the big news there is Devontae Parker. I'll have updates on my Twitter of like kind of the route I'm going, depending on if he's in or out for tomorrow night. But yeah, really, really like Jalen Waddle. He's going to be a core play for me. Same thing with Gasecki. I like getting into him. Actually, no, Gasecki won't be a core play. We'll take him out. Um, right now, it's going to be Waddle, Stevenson, and Smythe as my core plays going into tomorrow. As I said, it might change depending on Devontae Parker and kind of how I work out my lineup. But that is a breakdown for tomorrow. Hopefully, I was able to give you guys some information that definitely helped out, kind of helped you with your thought process of how you're going to attack tomorrow's slate. Because a lot of people for tomorrow's slate, it's just going to be this. It's going to be throwing Tyreek in the captain spot, get into Tua, probably get into Mac Jones and Bourne, and then it's just jamming in these cheap guys. Like, where do you go? Scroll down, scroll up. Like a River Craycraft, they'll throw him in there. And then it's like you have 2,900 left over, and it's like, oh, I can get up to Gasecki there, or I can throw in Braxton Berrios. So that's gonna be like the chalky build for a lot of people going like the Tua captain route. Because then you get Tua Tyreek captain route. You get Tyreek captain with Tua. You get Mac Jones along with Kendrick Bourne. You have Craycraft and Berrios along with Tua. So it's like solid option there. Don't mind it. You can always flip flop, Tua with Tyreek because if you're going to play a bunch of Tua's wide receivers, it'd be a strong option to put him in the captain spot. You still have Tyreek there, 1,600 left over. It gives you a lot of options. You can pay up for Patriots defense if you wanted to. It could get weird where a defense ends up into the lineup even though you're on slotting it. Weird things happen, but yeah, that's kind of chalky build, chalky route. So that is a breakdown. Hopefully you guys like it. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.